I'm gonna restart that over. Hold on. I don't have Adobe running, so
Uh,
that would be helpful. Um,
so did that record or no?
no, I don't have Adobe running.
Okay.
We're live, but we're not running
We're not
recording yet.
recording.
Yeah. All
We
right.
are
Take
live.
two.
We don't care what R. Kelly did.
Did I say anything racist this time?
You better get out of here, honky.
And now for something completely different.
I got moves, man.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin.
Crap my pants.
All right. It is June 29th. We're rolling a day early. Yeah, I gotta promise to take the kids to the fair tomorrow. So
Oh man,
I'm not sure what time we'll be back, or if when I do get back, if I'll really be in a right frame of mind to.
You might be in a perfect frame of mind after
I'm,
going to the fair.
I might be. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like
is there anything worse than the fair, or are you guys like the fair?
look, it's for my kids. It's like it is what it is. Like we're going tomorrow because Wednesdays is like $1 a ticket, and each ride is only one ticket. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like, $20 goes a long way on Wednesdays at the county fair.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually be like back in the day when we were growing up. It's $1 a ticket, right? Now, let
Yeah,
me ask you this because I want to kind of tap in. Is this the biggest social event that you've been to since the pandemic?
Richard getting out.
for me, I'm trying to give you an honest answer. I think so. Like as far as maybe sheer amount of people. We did go. There was like a little fair across the street from us. You know how little pop up fairs happen, but there wasn't hardly anybody there when we went. And realistically, too, Wednesday nights are like the slowest night at the county fair.
So
So
yeah,
But with it being dollar night, it might be busy.
it
Where
might be
everybody
busy.
knows
Yeah,
that.
they have on the site. They have like statistics in terms of and with them. Well, they rolled a fair last year, but it's like I guess everything is super busy now. Like I've seen video of people at Universal and Disney, and like
People
it's
are
just
packed
everybody's trying
cram
to
out.
sit, man.
packed like little ants. Like I don't
But
I don't know, man. But we'll make the call when we go if it's just too freaking busy. I don't know. Well,
you'll be
we'll
fine.
do a few rides and duck out. So
Yeah.
Right. It depends on what time you go though, too. Like, I think the earlier, the better.
yeah, yeah. I was
Um,
gonna try to duck out of work a couple hours earlier.
yeah,
Um,
You're gonna
try to
let
get
your
there.
you're gonna let your kid try to catch a goldfish, or win a goldfish.
No.
Buckets. Hey, bring Jared with you, because I mean,
yeah.
he ain't missing. Throwing those little ping pong balls in those little jars. He's got game, bro. Bring Jared with you.
I I think I always hated that. Like my kid wins a goldfish and then I got to bring it home, and then it dies within like 2 or 3 days. like,
well, well, how about the big stuffed animals?
Yeah.
How
yeah,
about
that's
no? Let's talk about the guy that has to carry around a life-size giraffe all throughout the park
That's
because
you
on
guys
his
him.
ever done that?
girl, because
That's
his
on
girl
him.
wanted him to hit a balloon. No, I never done that. Hey,
So
I'm
I
not
did
good
it
at
one
those
one
games.
time at Kings Island. I remember it like yesterday. So you guys know
Tell
the
me.
the ladder. You know the ladder climbing thing. Like
Yeah.
you climb the ladder to touch the bell, right? So
Oh
I remember
yeah.
this like this was yesterday. I was like, this is right after my senior year. This was like Kevin right there. Like this was wrestling Kevin and
Uh
fit
175.
Kevin. This was GQ Kevin back then. So I'm climbing a thing, and I'm slowly doing it. I'm like three-fourths in, and I don't know what they're called. Let's call them a carny. I noticed the carny guy gets distracted, right? So all you got to do is ring the bell. So
Right.
he's getting distracted in conversation, and so I just jumped forward from that and just slapped the bell, and I'm like, all right, I want it, right? Dishonest scaling, right? But
This is
anyway,
honest
I
Kevin.
end up I end up winning this big, huge stuffed animal. And like at first you're like, I'm proud, I'm about to walk around with this, and then you're like, dude, I gotta take this to the car. I cannot walk around with this thing all that. So literally like an hour after getting it, take it to the car, go back into the park. Yeah, but I've seen people walk around, and you're just like, dude, like I hope you have room in your car for that, because that's like two people.
That's a that's exactly what I was gonna say. You come with 4 people and you're leaving with, half of a stuffed animal,
Can't
life
fit that
size
bad
or
boy in the
whatever.
trunk either.
No,
Bad
dude,
boys are
it's
sturdy.
crazy. It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I always wondered like how rigged those games were. I know the basketball ones are rigged, like the rims are
Yeah.
definitely smaller, and
Yeah,
there's
you can't swish it. I think you have to bank it. Like from what
it's like
I
the only
understand,
way.
and everybody tries to swish it, and it's like you will never make that shot.
Right.
Really, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
A lot of times, if before I play it, I'll ask them, "Hey, you do it. I just want to see that it can be done first
And then they
before I
bank
waste
it
my
in.
money." Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's smart right there. I want you to
And then
pop
you
the
you see
balloons
the kids,
first.
yeah, you see the kids walking around with the basketballs all day. It's like, dude, you about to go on a roller coaster ride? Like you
Yeah,
can't like you got to pack
that's the
light, basically.
worst. Now,
yeah,
Yeah,
does the fairgrounds have they have rides and all that, right? Yeah.
yeah. This is the county fair we're going to.
Okay. So do
So
you,
it's the Marion County Fair.
so do your
so that's a
kids like
Wanamaker, right, Richard?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right off of Troy,
Yeah.
and like Franklin. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
Yep.
been to that one.
Yeah. You can see it off the interstate. I think.
yeah.
So do your kids like rides?
Oh yeah, yeah. They, my littlest is a little bit too small to do most of them, but
Yeah.
she enjoys the ones that she can do. My son suddenly hit the age where he's like scared of things. So he used to do everything, and now like this is his first year. He doesn't want to do certain rides.
Hmm.
I
So
got to,
Where
I
do you
got to
think
think
that
about this first.
where do you think that comes from?
I
How
think
how old is he?
11.
Okay.
So I think part of it might be understanding mortality a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
That might be an age where he's come downstairs at night, kind of crying, talking about how he doesn't want me and his mom to die.
Mm.
Just like you're just laying in bed and you start thinking about stuff, and like we've had to kind of just calm him down and have these conversations with him. So I think this year, especially, I don't, he hasn't really had time to hang out with friends and go to school and all that. It's more of like been a year of reflection, right? So
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right, like everybody else.
so he's had time to think about the whole death scenario. And I've kind of had conversations with him about how, to treat people like, you got to watch what you say, because you never know, it might be the last time you say something to that person. Like
Right.
you have to, we're always going to get angry, but just keep in mind, if you have to be satisfied with the possibility that that's the last thing that person's going to hear from you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a good message for sure. Yeah, I think that's the hard thing too, because I mean we kind of touched on it last week. It's like, it's like you want them to understand like every day is so valuable at
Mhm.
such a young age, like we have, like we see it more and more the older we get, because it's like, wow, it's like, I mean, you just hear about friends from high school passing away, and
Mhm.
you're just like, dang, dude, and some of it's whatever, drugs, or some of it's just car accident or whatever, but it's like, it could be, cliche saying, it could be any of us, but that's interesting. He's thinking about death like that. We haven't had to, necessarily battle that yet. I don't know if it's because we've had so many animals, and they like we have something dying around here once a month, so they're just immune.
Yeah.
They're just used to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone through like great grandparents' deaths. Like he's had
Okay.
like his great grandfather and great grandmother passed away, so he
Yeah.
kind of gets it. My daughter doesn't really understand. Like she thinks that when you get old, you just go to heaven and it's a party. Like she doesn't understand like what is necessary to, like death is involved before you go to heaven, kind of scenario. And so the other day she was telling me something about, she was like, I want you, she said, I want you to go to heaven like
Oh.
today. And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
you understand what you're saying.
What you're
right?
saying? Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you're going to go and, see, grandma and grandpa and have a good time. And, I was like, but if I go to heaven, like, you just try to have this conversation, a gentle conversation with a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Right.
If I
Yeah,
go
and
to
it's-
heaven, then I won't be here tomorrow. Just so
Right.
you know.
It's
I
kinda
don't know
like-
if that's part of your plan, little kid, but it's not really
It's
part
not
of
a-
mine.
It's not a 3-hour drive.
I guess she was a new daddy. I don't, I don't know.
Yeah. What has my wife been telling you?
Oh, right.
What's this plot against me right now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You've been
I
talking.
think it's so tough, like explaining that to kids. Like I think I'm kind of lucky because my daughter's starting to see some of that stuff. But like even me, like I feel like as a kid I never went through that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and it was never explained to me. So it
Mhm.
makes it weird for me as an adult to deal or even know what to do and be like compassionate with the person's feelings because I've not had many close people just die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know, I
so it makes
I
it hard
actually-
to deal as an adult.
Exactly. It's funny you say that because I was trying to think of like how how I thought of death as a youth or whatever. I don't really remember thinking about it, but I remember when my Aunt Lillian died, and I just kind of remember I remember it hitting. I don't know how old I was, maybe 14 at the. I really don't remember, but I just remember it like hitting me like, that's it, she's gone. I'll never see her, never talk to her, never even like she was here and now she's gone. Like it was that reality of it. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of puts it in perspective of like she's at family gatherings and now she's not. She's gone. It's just such a crazy concept, man.
Yeah, it is. So you enjoy life every day. You live it the
Yeah,
way you
That's
want.
what's up.
Yep.
That's all-
Make
that's
sure
all you
you
can
treat
do.
people the way they should be. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Might be
Yeah.
it.
And just to touch on that too, it's funny. It's like those are the things that happen in life. Like you guys are in bed, you're finally trying to relax or whatever, and then you get woken up by a kid, and he's you have to talk him down the ladder. You have to encourage, like you have to go through this process. And as a parent, you're like, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're saying that, but you're also trying to comfort them too. So like if that would have happened to me, I'd be like, Richard, I'm like, what do you say? And it's like you got bombarded that at 1 a.m. or something like that. It's like, dude, I don't know. I was dreaming,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like, and also you get woken up with it, and then you have to have the wherewithal to have this kind of a deeper conversation.
Yes, and you have to control yourself, and you have to be so sensitive, but also be like, "Hey, man, you can't worry." It's this fun battle that we're all in, I guess.
Yeah, there certainly is a balance, especially with just parenting in general, of not being like, I don't have time for this shit. Like I don't.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what Blake was saying. Is like certain things like you gotta listen, or they'll never tell you anything, or they'll feel like you don't care. Like you have to care about their feelings in that moment, even though that it's 1 a.m.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Now, if they're getting up because they're thirsty, or I'm hot, or I can't sleep, oh my gosh,
That's your life right now, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, dude. It's not, it hasn't been as bad. And we do pretty good, but we stay up till we rub their backs until they fall asleep, so they're not coming in and bugging the crap out of us, so
I can't say I haven't went through it, dude. I literally there was a period where Liv got scared by something, and it was like it was like legit, like a 3 to 4 month period to where, and this is what's funny about it is there's a 3 to 4 month period where I had to, like I was falling asleep on the floor in her room until she fell asleep and having to sneak out every night.
Mm,
But like looking back on it now, it's like, dude, she needed me then. Now she don't want nothing to do. You get what I'm saying? Like you
yeah,
start thinking about that stuff as a parent, like she needed me then to go
yeah,
to sleep, and now she's just like,
Get
dude,
away.
what? Yeah, give me some money. you
yeah,
know,
dude. I know. That's
give me
that's
some.
that's what
That's what's
sucks.
funny about it. Like it sucks then, but like now I can look and reflect on it and be like, dude, she needed me then. So
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
yeah. See, and that's what's interesting. Like with me having the three and the different ages, and Richard can relate a little bit to this too. Like having the 12-year-old and having a 4-year-old. Like it's like there's things. It's funny because like I kind of long for both of their love. Like Ella, like I still want her to, be daddy's little girl, her firstborn, but she's just like, I mean, she's probably like Olivia is, just kind of in her own world, says hi, says bye, eats dinner, goes and does her swim, does whatever.
Hmm.
And then, but then Everly she just wants her mom all the time. So it's just like, and then I got the middle one, Addie, which I think she's a little bit more like me, I feel like. And, but I try it's just hard. It's like, I always I feel like every day I have this battle of like trying to connect with them, and sometimes I think it's a struggle simply because they're girls. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you feel that way. But well, both of you guys obviously have daughters, but do you feel that? So yeah, that's a good topic. Do you feel like it's harder to okay, Kevin, if you feel like if you had a son, do you feel like you would connect better with him, or do you feel like Amy has a better connection with Olivia just because of the same sex?
I think that there's stuff that I can't relate to, and I'm not even going to go in that genre. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like we have a good connection because of openness. Like, I have this like, I'm never gonna judge. I'm always gonna support. Like I've always thought that like because I had a good relationship with my parents because I could tell them any and
Yeah.
everything. So I'm trying to
Yep.
do the same thing with my daughter. I think it would be more relatable if I had a son, but I feel like we still have a good relationship for me being a dad, her being a daughter. You know,
It.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's no boundaries. I can relate to what she's doing. She actually keeps me hip to the game. You know, and we have some stuff that we're on the same wavelength, same hobbies, and we kind of watch some of the same shows and stuff like that. So we got some stuff we can relate to, but there's also that dad kid relationship. So yeah,
what,
it's
what
I like our
what's
relationship.
what's the biggest characteristic that she has of you? That's you.
I would just say open mindedness and like imagination, basically.
So
So
you feel like okay. So you feel like she just kind of thinks like you.
yeah,
She
yeah,
thinks
yeah.
outside the box.
Right. The one
What
thing
does
I
she
don't
have of
like,
Amy? What does she have of Amy?
uh, she got that fire. Yeah, she can have it. Yeah, she got that fire and that attitude. The only thing that I don't like of what she has in me is like I I I don't show a lot of emotion, and I don't want her to be that way always. You get what I'm saying?
Ah,
So that's the only thing I don't like that she has the characters to me because I've had to, kind of change myself on that and kind of show emotion just because I've just always had this. You know how you grow up as a
so
guy and it's like, don't show no emotion and blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to make her feel like that's
be more
okay yeah, to show
to
emotion
express
and actually
yourself. To
have it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to express yourself, have emotions. Yeah, don't be afraid to let it
Yeah.
out. It's
'Cause
okay to
I,
talk about
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Because I think that's
yeah.
my worst characteristic.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think she sees that like I still some kind of build these walls, and like you shouldn't build those walls, especially with people that you love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. That's good, dude.
So,
Hmm.
man, I kind of veered off. My bad.
No, that was perfect. That's
Right.
good stuff. What about you,
Yeah.
Rich? Do you have a do you, with your youngest is how old?
She's 5.
Okay. See, that's tough. That's a tough age to really see the character. Well, I may be wrong. I mean, do you see different stuff in her, or how's your connection with her?
So a lot of my connections I have to make. So,
Uh-huh.
like she likes My Little Pony. So like we'll sit and chill and watch My Little Pony. And I'll learn like about My Little Pony. Like I'll take the time out of my day to like read Wikipedia about
Rainbow Dash is tight.
yeah, Rainbow Dash and all them and how they became equestrian girls and just all this stuff, just kind of try to learn all that. And then I mean, the other day I took her to go see was it Spirit? I don't know if you guys know who Spirit is. The
I saw
horse.
Yeah.
the preview. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we and her kind of went on like a little date, and I took her to go see Spirit. Like it's different than my
Yeah.
son because my son and I we kind of naturally connect because like we both like Star Wars, we both like comic books, we like you know
Yeah.
what I mean. It's like yeah, I can literally just like pull something out like, and he's interested in it.
Isn't it funny how it's just such a natural, like how the males will naturally do what
Hmm.
males just like to do, and
Yeah,
females do the same thing. It's just like my daughter's never really wanted a monster truck. None of them have. They've never asked for a monster truck. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? We have 4,000 Barbies instead.
yeah. I mean,
That you're stepping on.
my my daughter is she likes to play video games, so we try to kind of I buy the Lego video games and we play
Oh, that's
those
cool.
as much as we can. But yeah, it's just kind of different hats and a different
Finding
approach.
different ways, yeah, different ways to connect with them or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, just with
Richard,
her, I
what's
go out of my
funny
way.
is you were talking about the My Little Pony stuff. Like I feel like I was kind of doing that. Like she went like they go through so many phases, and you're like, all right, I'm set for phase three is strawberry shortcake. So like you
Yeah.
actually go and like Google all this stuff and be like, hey, this is cool, 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 cool. Dude, I'm done with this phase. Once you start catching up with them, they're like, I'm done with this phase. And so it's the next thing. Like it was literally like I feel like 10 different things each year, like a phase. Basically, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, they jump around a lot too. Like they'll go like she'll do My Little Pony for a little while, but then all of a sudden she'll be more interested in Disney princesses, and then the next thing you know,
Mm.
she'll be more interested in like Spirit, but then she'll rotate back around to My Little Pony. Like she'll rotate like three or four different things. So it's just it's just, yeah, you just have to show
Weather the
interest, I
storm.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
just show
Roll with the
interest
punches.
and try to have
Yeah.
conversations with them.
Right.
At least with my daughter. My son's a little different. Like I said, we kind of have a natural connection, with certain things. When he was 5, my daughter was in the NICU for 2 weeks, and so
Mm.
my wife was there with her, and so it was just me and my son at our house together. So I was trying to
Oh.
find something, because I don't know if you guys do this. Maybe this isn't something I should do as a parent, but every once in a while you kind of try to let your kid do something they're not necessarily supposed to do yet. So most of mine will be like, I'll let you watch this show. There's nothing terrible in it, but you're
Right.
probably a little bit too young. So we watched Star Wars. Is kind of what I did. Like I was like, okay, let's
Oh.
trying to help him because his mom he hadn't seen his mom in 2 weeks.
Right.
So that's kind of what we did, and that's kind of where the Star Wars thing started. So kind of started bonding over that, and it just kind of went from there. So just little things like that I find
Yeah.
Yeah,
are helpful.
I seem like I always do that. Like the driving thing, like the impromptu driving thing the other day. It's like, hey, I'm just
Dude.
gonna put you in spot. There's an open parking lot. Let's do this.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, little
I
things like that.
It's funny, like when I'm driving, I always think about like how I'm gonna try to teach my kids how to drive. You know what I'm saying? Like different things to look out for, and just like I don't know. I always think about for some reason I always think about that because I think that's probably my biggest fear is when they start driving. That's probably when I'm
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
like, oh my god, dude, like please. I remember
sure.
that was
Yeah,
always my
you got no
dad's.
control.
Yeah, I always remember that was my mom and dad's biggest fear was just like out in the car with somebody, someone else is driving, and you have and you get in a wreck, and it's just yeah, that's
Did
those
you
days
guys
will be
do the
tough.
like driver's ed thing?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember. I kind of feel like my dad just taught me, but I had to have taken some type of class. I mean, I know I did the written test and all that, but I don't really remember going to driver's ed.
What about you, Richard?
So my parents didn't teach me how to drive. I actually learned how to drive after I moved out of the house, and my roommate taught me how to drive.
Oh
Right.
wow.
So
Well, that's a little bit of a different path.
yeah, so I did not take driver's ed.
Yeah. I
That's
just
crazy.
remember my parents, like, I had saved up some money. It was like $800. Saved up $800, bought a Ford Taurus, and they're like, "Hey, get some insurance." And like my dad, basically, I would drive myself to work. Like he was teaching me while I because the work was such a short drive. Like, had me drive to work, he'd take the car back, come pick me up, and then I drive back home. So that's how
Jeez.
kind of learned basically.
Good way.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But yeah, I just remember everybody else was like going to driver's ed and stuff like that, and I'm just like, nope.
I think
Learn
the
from
only
my
thing you
pops.
really get with driver's ed is you can drive a little earlier. Like you can drive when you're
Yeah.
15 or 15 or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I remember all the well-to-do kids in school were able to drive a little younger than
Right.
everybody else. So
And
Right.
they had the nice cars.
yeah, they had
Right.
a nicer car. Yeah.
Right.
What was your guys'
Yeah.
first cars?
Mine was an '87 Ford Taurus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine was a 98 Ford Ranger.
Ooh.
There you go.
The only one I remember the year on was an 89 Jimmy. I always said 89 Jimmy with rust because I had a bunch of rust on the bottom of it. But I love that. It was like a, kind of like a SUV, well, a Jimmy, Jeep type
Yeah.
vehicle or whatever. I love that
Like a
thing.
box SUV.
And I never changed the oil, and then you can't.
Hit it,
Apparently, you can't
whoosh.
do that. Yeah. Apparently, it dies on you when you do that.
It's permanent death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've never
remember
been
my
great with
brother doing
cars.
that with his first car.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah. No. Yep. Never checked the oil. Never changed the oil, and
I know
like,
I know some full-grown adults that still do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They haven't. That's why it sends you notifications now. Like your oil
Yeah, I
percentage
mean,
is low.
like
Yep.
your car literally tells you every 5 seconds when your oil's due.
Yep.
Some cars now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you are you guys doing anything for 4th of July? I know we've been texting a little bit about it.
So yes. So I know I said I could probably make the 3rd, but I can't. I forgot.
Okay.
I had plans already. However, I do know you have a party coming up on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay. And if you invite me, I can go to that one.
Really? Sweet. All
I
right.
believe so. Yeah. If you invite me and let me know what time it is, I can throw it in the
Yes.
calendar before my wife puts anything in the calendar.
Okay, cool.
You gotta beat it.
Yeah. That's right.
Sweet.
I got
All
a
right.
I got a birthday thing that I'm going to and don't know how long that I'm gonna be at. So
Oh yeah, you won't be there, right? Dude, I just found out Dirty won't be there either. He's going out of town for work.
Hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's just the UFC fight, and then I don't know if we're doing anything else. I mean, we're kind of celebrating my birthday around that time too, but I'm not. I told my wife like I'm not going to send out a bunch of invitations to my own party, like to my guys. Like
Right,
I'll
right.
say, hey, I'm having guys over for fights, but I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm having guys over for my birthday.
Right.
It's like, I just
bring me a cake. Stop by there.
yeah. Can y'all bring me a gift? That'd be great.
Right. Are
So-
you excited for that UFC card?
Oh yeah, yeah. I honestly can't tell you who else is on it, but I'm excited to see Connor fight again. Connor and Dustin.
Oh, Connor's
Connor's
fighting.
gonna get what? Yeah, Connor versus Dustin. The third
I think
fight
it's
basically.
I think it's UFC 263.
Hmm.
It's with
Okay.
so many
Yeah.
numbers. I feel like now that I'm older that they're like stuck on the same couple numbers, like because I feel like they've been on like
The
Yeah.
last one
this.
I remember specifically remembering the number of was UFC 100, and that was the
Exactly.
Brock
Really?
Lesnar one. After that, I was like, I don't know anymore.
It's been like a
Yeah.
blur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
'cause-
you could tell me this weekend is UFC 450. I would have no idea. I'd be
and
like,
you
oh,
wouldn't even
okay.
think. Yeah, you wouldn't even think.
I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Awesome.
So are you doing anything, Kevin, for 4th? Do you guys ever do anything?
Fourth, we have neighbors that light off fireworks. I don't know what we're doing the day of the 4th though right now.
Okay.
So we're kind of just planning on to see. And what always sucks is like you got to work the next day. So yeah,
So
I got
we
to work
don't.
the
I
Monday.
don't.
I don't know. You guys
Okay.
probably got a what observance for the 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my job
See,
don't
we
stop because you guys order stuff.
right.
Mhm.
So yeah, we always do our show the day before. So our show will actually be on the 3rd, which is
Is
Saturday. That's when we have our big family shindig or whatever, friends and family
anything
thing.
different about this year
This
with
year,
that? Yeah.
no, not really. I think last year might have been like our biggest turnout. Either that or the year before. There's some of our friends and family can't make it this year, so I think it actually might be a little bit smaller this year. But I just
Nice.
picked up the fire. Yeah, I just picked up the fireworks yesterday, so
Seen your pictures.
that's
Very nice.
Yeah.
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 So
I
that
thought that they would be more expensive this year because I feel like everybody did fireworks last year.
well, so I've got a buddy named Tom who owns Discount Fireworks, and I hit him up the other day just to kind of see how business was going. He said that his numbers are down 30%, but it's only because they cannot get like
Stop.
everything they get is gone. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the guys that so I was able to buy fireworks that I got from another guy who I think it's a family member has his license to buy it. So, if I didn't know this guy, I wouldn't even have what I have right now. Um, so yeah, so that's whose house I was at yesterday and got the fireworks from. But they've got like an incredible setup. Like they've got everything remoted on remotes
Mhm.
with
I think I
a
saw that on your video.
yeah, with a fuse.
Yeah.
So for just under $200, I can buy a really nice, setup that'll be perfect for what we need. And it'll give me 24 options of triggers to from a distance, so I don't have to keep going up and lighting it. I literally
So
almost caught myself on fire last year. Like y'all, no, I don't think anyone understands how close it was. Like it scared the crap out of me, man. Like I
so
mean,
before were you literally like, all right, I'm setting this keg off, run back, set this keg off, run back, setting this keg off, run back.
okay, so if you would see our boards, like we usually always have at least 2 to 3 cakes combined. So I might have like 2 small cakes and a big cake, and they all will be streamed together. So I light one cake, and it goes through and it goes through, and then it'll tie into another cake, and it keeps going right. So I only have to light one to do 3. And then I may have another 4 set up, and I'll light that. And then I'll have somebody else over there, and they'll light some. Um, um, oh, I can't think of the name of them right now. Crap, can't think of the name of them. Anyways, they go up and they go kaboom. They're called fireworks. Mortals, mortars.
Orders?
Murder.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
the mortars. So
Uh-huh.
because we use what is it? I think 48 of those in our show. So and we have 2 racks that hold 30. So for the finale, we put 30 of those in a rack, and towards the end of the show with a quick wick, it goes through all of that, and ideally they all go off at the same time. But every year there's always like 2 or 3 that doesn't, and it's like it's never perfect, but everyone else of course enjoys it. So
Right.
but yeah, man, I never did. You guys ever like light fireworks as a kid? I never feel like ever lit a firework until I was like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But there was always that one kid that did everything and was fearless and
Yeah, he was the
yeah,
brave
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
People holding it in their hands. I'm like, no, like I want to keep all these fingers.
Right.
So now with the new remote system, you're saying that you can set up everything and just psh, psh, push the
Yes,
button,
yeah,
right?
and I can also time it. Now I don't have these yet. I haven't bought it yet but I'm hoping to for next year. Um, but what's cool is that like I can program it. So let's say I know this cake takes 30 seconds to go off. Well, let's say at 20 seconds, I can make my next firework go off, or I can, yeah. So while one is starting to finish, my other one is going off. So you can program it to literally light at
Right.
specific seconds. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's going to make my life so much easier and a whole lot safer. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be
and
honest.
so that would be electric, right? Like
Yes, it's all
so.
through
Okay.
E Match or something. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
Ewick, maybe. I think it's Ewick.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's probably the ultimate goal. Because it's, I mean, part of the fun is lighting them, and the thrill of being
Seeing
underneath them, and
seeing if
almost
seeing if you
almost
live.
blowing your, yeah. See if you can cheat death one more time, one more
Ah,
year. All for the satisfaction of some kids, in a neighborhood, I guess. So, yeah, it's
that's
fun, man.
awesome.
It's so Thursday night is what I'll be doing. That we'll be putting all that together and getting it prepared. So yeah, so if you guys aren't doing anything Saturday night, feel free.
All right.
It'll be
See the
fun. But
BD
yeah, no,
fireworks.
obviously no pressure. I know it's hard with family and everything.
What's the closest cause you've had, like that you felt like you were in danger?
Dude, last year. Well, so there was one year, one of the mortars, actually it was our first year, one of our mortars canisters tipped over and it shot at us. I mean, it was probably 20 yards from me, but still, like when you see it coming at you, you just like you
You're
see
like,
it tip
whoosh,
over, and you know it's going to, you know,
it's
explode
coming
out of
fast, and
there.
you don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you just hope it doesn't hit you. So,
Yeah.
um, but so last year, I'll explain real quick my mistake last year. So last year, um, so the people that I know that own the fire store, they had somebody return a massive cake. It's like
I
they're
remember
like
you
200.
telling us. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like $200 or
you got it on
whatever.
clearance or whatever.
Yeah, and she was like, "Look, there's no guarantee it's going to, light, but I think this is what happened, yada yada." And I could look at it, and I tore it all apart. And I looked inside of it, and I could tell that it basically just needs to be relit, and it's going to go off. So we put it in the show, and I was just like, "Yeah, I mean, just throughout the show, I'll just go and I'll go light it." Well, and it's funny because as soon as I hit the trigger, like to light it, it hit me. This is going to go off really quick. And I'm telling you, dude, I hit the trigger, it lit, and it took off, and it just boom. And I was just, I mean, dude, I don't know how I didn't poop my pants. Like it felt like I got blown up, And I just started running, and I just yelled like "woo" or whatever. But so what I should have done is tied a longer wick to that,
Wait to it.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because it was a
yeah,
shorter way.
yeah. So I mean, dude, that it's little things like that is just a reminder that you just gotta be smart. You gotta think about what you're doing or whatever. So
Mhm.
but yeah, that's the biggest scare. But as far as like people watching it, we've never had like one shoot at them or anything. I don't think so. Yeah, but it's cool because like literally like I mean neighborhood like people all from the neighborhood will just come on over or they'll just sit on their front porches and they can see it from
Yeah,
my parents' house. Yeah. Now the people's house I was at last night, they make mine look just stupid, and it's on an island. It's on like a family lake, like a neighborhood lake or whatever, and they have
hmm
them all out on boats, and then they have it's all done remotely, and they've got music and like I mean it's incredible, it's so cool.
that's
But they
pretty good.
always yeah, and they always do it the same day we do ours, so I never get to see it. But I've seen it
But you got to
once.
see it this last year.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, this
saw it
year.
once,
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah,
nice.
so anyways,
Pretty
yeah,
dope,
man,
man.
there's
How
my
long you been doing
fireworks
this?
to
About
do.
what? 10 years?
I don't know how many years we've been doing this, the family thing, this big bash or whatever. I don't even know. I'm so bad with years. I want to say at least 5 or 6, I guess.
I don't know.
Hey, it could be 10 as far as I know. It's like, what's 10 years anymore? I mean, it's just like
Yeah. That's easy
we're
anymore.
already in July. I mean,
Yeah,
The other
yeah.
day, my daughter asked when Christmas was, and I told her, "Oh, it's about 6 months." And she said, "Oh, that's going to be forever." And I said, "Well, your mom and I are going to wake up tomorrow, and it's going to be Christmas."
yes,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I
we'll be
couldn't believe
buying in
like,
3 months.
yeah, I couldn't believe that like it's July. It's basically July. Like I was thinking
It
about that.
is.
Like I was like, where did June go? Like, yeah, it's
I
crazy.
know.
My kid has one more month and she'll be in school again. Like it feels like it's
That's
only
crazy.
yeah.
What
Yeah, she
grade would
just
you
got
be in?
a freshman.
Oh no!
Freshman.
Freshman.
So yep. It
Is
starts
she
this year.
excited?
She is actually kind of nervous, but she's only So the only reason she's nervous is because she's thinking that the school is going to be so much bigger than what it actually is. When you're looking at Speedway, you're looking at classes of like basically 100 kids. Like, so I was trying to explain to her is like the school is the same size as the middle school. Like, so she just
There,
thinks that she won't find anything. But she has volleyball right now, so they have open gym every day. So now she's kind of lurking the school, so she has the advantage over other freshmen that haven't been in there over the summer. So
she
yeah,
yeah, she
keep
at
that in
least
mind also.
has
Nice.
she at least has some connections. How in the world can a kid learn in a class of 100?
No, no,
Is that
no.
what you
Like,
said?
no, no, no. I'm talking about
Oh,
like the
it's like this is
graduating
like
class. So just remember,
oh,
like when we went to Perry, like
I was like, is this a
what
college?
I think no, I
What are we
think Blake,
doing here?
I think our class at Perry, like it started at like 450 kids. Like I'm just talking about like the incoming freshmen, right?
Okay.
So like 450 basically freshmen coming in. She only has like 100 coming in. So
Oh
like their
wow.
class size is gonna be smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
this
just
you know
think
like
of it
have
like that. Yeah.
20 kids in each class. I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
7 period, 100 kids between 7 periods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah. So you got more of an advantage because the school's smaller.
Yeah,
So
Right.
yeah, it's kind of
That's good.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she'll blend in good. I mean, like you said, it's good that she's got volleyball friends. At least she got those connections.
Right. Right. At least you're starting out right and know some people. So it's
Yup,
cool.
that
We'll
is
just be in a
cool.
different type of drama, high school drama now.
uh,
Oh man, good luck with that. Yeah,
I'm, I'm,
you're gonna, yeah, you're like the guinea pig in this little
I know, man.
relationship we got
I'm
going on
keeping you
here.
guys. I'm keeping you guys ahead of the game right here.
Yeah, I should be taking notes every Wednesday.
I know, man.
How
Keeping
to
you
stay
guys ahead of
hip.
the game. Right. Absolutely. Um, what are you guys thinking about before we talk about the NBA? I wanted to
Because you
ask
know
you
what's gonna
guys.
happen.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys today because there was like two different scenarios I listened to on the radio, and it was two different players. So we're gonna talk about Blake's boy PG, Paul George. It's like, can we say he's probably the most disrespected player right now?
I don't.
By our
I
group
mean,
thread, yes.
on our group thread, yeah, but I don't
I'm
think.
saying
I mean,
overall though too.
I just got done watching ESPN and they sung his praises pretty well. I mean, they talked to, I think it was Richard Jefferson, and everybody was kind of in agreement that, at least as far as they were concerned, that he could absolutely lead that team back from a 3-1 deficit. And they all agreed it's not probable, but
hmm
they figured Paul George was a good enough player to maybe do it.
hmm I heard something this morning where they started off and they gave the reason why he's disrespected because he'll have the moments like you're saying where he just looks like a superstar, and
Hmm.
then the next day it just looks
Yeah.
like he's just totally disconnected.
Well, the
Like
one
they've
game I
never seen
watched,
another player like.
the one game I watched, I think was it game 2 or 3 between Phoenix and the Clippers. I was watching it. I think Paul George turned the ball over on either a missed shot or something else at least 10 times in a
Hmm.
row.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, uh,
Yeah, he,
I
he
don't
has his
I don't
moments,
see
but
LeBron doing that, and I don't see
Right.
Curry doing that. I don't see any other superstar doing that. Like that, it's like, and I mean, we're talking about dumb mistakes and stupid shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Because
It,
last night he looked like the man. Like,
He
you know what I'm
does
saying?
have those nights,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what Jared and I have said. We've said that he is a good player, maybe even a great player, but he's not. He just
There's
isn't
no middle.
someone you would put on your team and have him carry the team on his back.
Right.
but I feel like even on his bad games, he's still getting you, 23, 8 and 5 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he still
Speaking
shows
of
up.
Paul George, look who chimed.
Uh, this Candyman showed up
The,
in our.
the only man amongst the four of us that could score on Paul George is here. What up, Jared?
What's going on?
Did you hoop it up in the gym today?
I did. I just hit the game winner, got in the car, riding home high. Not
There you
high,
go.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, on that basketball high, I got you.
Yes, sir.
That's a great feeling, dude. I
man.
miss it. I need to get back out there, dude. I really do miss it.
I
And I
know.
keep
It's
saying
fun.
that, but yeah.
Make
We
sure you
literally
stretch
just
first.
started talking about basketball. We started talking about if Paul George is the most disrespected player. I let, let me just give him my piece on it. I don't really feel like he's disrespected. I just feel like no one talks about him. I feel like he's real quiet. Like I don't like that's why sometimes like when you guys kind of trash him, I'm just like I feel like I never hear from Paul George. Like he's really calm on the court. He doesn't really even showboat. Like he just you know what I'm saying? He's got this kind of killer. I don't know. That's the only reason I always go to bat for him, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He might not be a superstar, but I
I
want
think
him
I
back
think
on
his
my team.
negative
I'll take him
I
on
think
my
his
team.
negative attributes are highlighted more than his positive. A lot
Okay,
of the
what are
time.
his? Hold on. I guess I don't get that. What's his What is so negative about Paul George?
Well,
Like I
just
haven't heard any
I,
players complain about him, so I don't know the
But
narrative
I
of.
always see players getting in his face
Yep.
anymore. I don't know if you guys notice this. I've seen this a lot this year. A lot of players getting in his face and like basically trying to punk him. Like I think
But is that
that
just a
he comes off.
competitive? Is that a competitiveness thing, or do you just think he rubs people the wrong way?
It could be both. I just feel like maybe they think that
He's
he or
soft or
maybe
something.
he projects. Yeah, absolutely. They think that he's soft and he's trying to project to being this like hard ass basically.
Maybe they think that's the way to break him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, man.
I don't necessarily. I'm not a big follower of Paul George anymore. I mean, and really the only time I hear about him is when Blake brings him up. Uh,
What?
but I don't know. Like, so one of the big talking points about Clippers last season was the lack of leadership from Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
MPG. Yeah.
And one of the big reasons why there was such dysfunction was because those two guys basically just did their own thing and ignored the rest of the team. Like this was reported on ESPN, and this is probably why they lost a couple of their players.
Hmm.
It's just because there's just such dysfunction, and I think so. I think there are players in the NBA that are strictly on a team because of their chemistry. Like they're
Yeah.
not the best player, and there's probably a ton of other better players, but because that player can unite the locker room, that player is on that team. I
I
think
got the
Hmm.
Paul
I got
George
the
is on the team because he's good, but whenever he gets to the point where he's not as good as what he is now, he will never be on a team because of his ability to lead.
So first of all, Rajon Rondo is probably a great player to mention that
Oh,
always gets. He's a great leader. Like
that's why they got
Locker room
him.
right,
guy. Yeah.
exactly. He always ends up on a team because just of his simply because of his leadership.
Right.
Right.
Um, yeah, So while you were talking, like kind of my thought was like, okay, I understand you're saying he's not a leader, but do you have to be that vocal leader? Personally, I do feel you do need to be that vocal leader to be the great person or to be the captain or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you can tell Kawhi Leonard and probably Paul George seems to be pretty quiet too.
Hmm.
That may not be their natural ability, their
Well,
natural trait.
it's not, and I can agree with that, and I can see people being quiet but still being a leader. You don't necessarily need to be
Hmm.
boisterous,
Right.
loud to be a leader, right? You lead through your actions, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they were saying that there would be team events or there'd be something going on, and Paul George and Leonard would be nowhere to be found. There'd be practices and stuff like that that those two would not have to be a part of. There were things that the team would have to do that they were exempt from. So that to me is part of leadership, right? So when you talk about a leader, you talk about somebody that like different sport, but like a Tom Brady who will get everybody together in
Right.
the off season for unneeded training.
Workouts and stuff.
Yeah.
It just camaraderie and things like that. And I just I think Paul George is a good player, but he's not worth the hype.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
But that'll be on the organization though too. Like you see two, you know, basically introverts.
Yeah,
Like you gotta have another
right.
guy, right? Like
yeah,
that
Right.
brings that together, and he's the vocal leader, even if
I
he's
mean,
not the best player.
they've got
Yeah.
Beverly, but I don't know if you consider him a vocal leader or just a rat dog that needs to get
He's
punched in
an
his face.
asshole.
God,
Yeah.
dude, is he not
He's
the most?
such
And listen, people always say, "Yeah, well, if he was on your team, you would love him." No, I wouldn't. Like, I can't
Why
stand.
not? He gets the people. He makes people mad.
It's so annoying. It's
like
so
Ron
cheap
Artest.
shot.
Did
Yes,
you guys see the
it's-
foul yesterday where he was that he was making fun of Chris Paul for
Yeah,
fumbling?
that's what I'm talking
That
about.
was-
I mean, it's such
Oh.
Hilarious.
He kills me. No, listen, I will say this. It pisses me off that Kawhi Leonard is not sitting on the bench with his
Yeah.
team.
that's what I'm talking about with
Absolutely.
leadership.
I don't-
He's sitting way
Exactly.
up somewhere else. Like, why
Exactly.
aren't you there? Look, as
Yeah.
much as I talk trash about LeBron sometimes, like at least
He's
he would
there.
be on the bench. He'd be high fiving. He'd
He'd be
be
cheering
Yes.
cheering people
like
on.
Trey Young is doing
Giving
tonight.
instructions, something.
Yep,
Yeah.
trying to
Coaching,
coach.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good topic, really, because, I mean, does this hurt Kawhi Leonard's legacy? But no one talks about it. Like, Kawhi gets the pass. Could you imagine if LeBron
think-
was doing this?
But I think he gets the pass because he doesn't talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people accept that that's Kawhi. Like that's his attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's why he gets the
Well, and
pass.
that he wins, right? Like there's something to be said if you just kind of win. And we're only 2 years away from Kawhi having won with Toronto, so it's not
Mhm.
like we're that far removed. So I think if things continue as they are, you'll probably see more people speak up. And I even think when history is written, so to speak, I think this will probably come up in terms of his ability,
leadership.
Yeah, and it's just
It is
just like you
impressive
said,
that
it's on
he-
the organization for pulling Leonard and Paul George on the same team. The last time Paul George was, I felt like that one of the reasons why he was so good with the Pacers was because he had David West.
But the other thing too, I don't think Paul George has been with I don't know who you put him with, but I feel like he's not with the right connection. Well,
He's
that
not.
might
I felt like he was almost better when he was with Russ.
Yeah,
be honest with you.
Westbrook. Yep.
Because Russ is a leader and he didn't have to be. Like that's when he had his best season. That's when he was
I think
second or
I think-
third in the MVP voting.
I think he'd be really good with Damian Lillard.
Could be.
Because they both draw a double team. You just put somebody like that can ISO so well. I mean, CJ McCollum can as well, but then you got PG's defense and all that. But I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I got to piggyback on what Richard said. I think that he needs a vocal leader with him, and he can just do his thing.
Yeah, I mean he's a player, and that's really about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, there's part of me that is viewing Kawhi Leonard the way he is taking days off. Like, is this the new way? Is this the beginning of that huge player movement? Like, hey, listen, I'm an individual contractor in all reality, right? Like, this is me. This is my health. This is, if I get hurt, I cannot make money doing this anymore, right?
Mhm.
So I want to be really no different than a UFC fighter. I mean, they're all individual. So if I don't want to perform on this night, then I'm not going to. I mean, I don't know if I agree with it.
I think if you go down that road, you're gonna have to see contracts restructured differently,
for
right?
sure.
Because if you pay a player right to play, go ahead, Blake. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say you almost have to pay them per game.
We have to either play them per game or pay them upon how well the team does.
Yeah. Give some
Yes.
incentives on. Yeah. You
Load
play
the
60
back.
games, you got this. Yeah.
Kind of like what the NFL does, where they'll give you $30 million guaranteed, but then they'll give you another $20-30 million in bonuses.
Yeah.
So I think if you see that, I don't know how you could keep paying these players $300 million if they're just going to be like, I'm just not. And I think one of the players we talk about Kawhi, but let's not forget about Kyrie Irving, who just magically would just take weeks off. Like
Mhm.
and now there's talk about them moving him, because it's like I don't think Kyrie Irving, for as good as he can be, Like I think he hurts your team more because he's somebody you rely on. Like you rely on him,
majorly.
and he randomly disappears for 2 weeks on end.
Yeah.
Like
Do you want to deal with the stress? Risk
You'll
or
take
reward?
I would trade CJ McCollum for him.
But I
You know
also
what I'm
think
saying?
it comes like organizationally from the top down. Like I mean, I know we're in the player empowerment era, and like these guys have, taken over, and like they control the narrative, and they control, kind of if they want out, even if they just signed a contract extension last year, it doesn't matter. But like, I think what Paul George, I think part of the reason why he was successful, here in Indiana was like there was a structure with Nate McMillan and the coaching and those type of things, and I think I think he had that I can't remember who was it, Bill Ash in OKC, but then Ty Lue, here in LA, but Doc Rivers last year, like, I mean, I don't know, are they being held accountable like as much as they should, or are they are some of these players in some degree, and in some degree you have to do it, I think, but
right.
I don't know. It's a fine line.
I wouldn't mind seeing another year of Kawhi and PG together and them actually playing, right? Like they didn't play together. I mean, they have some good pieces there. I mean, PG's getting some help, not much, but so yeah. By the way, Giannis is holding his knee right now on the ground. So
Really? So Trey.
Oh, he hyperextends. Oh my God.
What's the score of that game? That's gonna be big, especially since Trey.
Oh my God, I
can't
can't
today.
watch it.
I'm watching it a little bit.
It bends backwards. It's not broke. He's still on the ground. So we just lost Trae Young and now Giannis.
But that alludes to what we're talking to, is like there's been so many injuries this year in this playoffs. Don't you think the league does something? Because the players aren't going to want to play.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know what they can do.
Okay, but what just happened?
Yeah,
it was just basketball, man.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
basketball.
Yeah.
He jumped, he came down, a guy's knee hits him. It's basketball. That has
Same
nothing
with
to
Trey.
do.
Like Trey literally just tripped on a dude's foot that wasn't even.
Yeah, the referee. Yeah,
he stepped on the referee. I mean, it just, so that it's one thing. I don't know. I mean, I guess if they're blowing out their knees and stuff, and Achilles and all that, maybe it's.
I think they should stop making these players play 48 minutes in a game. Like I think that's a little bit ridiculous. You have a full bench at your disposal. How about we not play LeBron James for 48 minutes for
maybe 30 minutes? Yeah.
But see, that's the funny thing though, is like kind of to go back on PG. It's like he is putting up those minutes, and then if the next game he only gets you 20 points and 5 and 5, you're like, well, he just can't do it every day.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, dang, dude, like, do you not? I just dropped 45, 12, and 8.
Yeah, like, can I get some help?
Yeah, that was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see the Scottie Pippen stuff this week?
No, but
yeah, I read a little bit of it. It seems like he's starting to come off kind of jaded a little bit.
Like very jaded.
Well, especially with Phil Jackson. The reason why Phil Jackson didn't give him the last shot was because he was racist.
Yeah,
like that.
Wow.
That's a
Pippen's playing that card.
Pippen's all kind of butthurt right
What's
now.
the gain, man? What's the gain? Is it popular? I mean, is it to have like? Why would he say that? Like, there's no proof that Phil Jackson's racist, right? So why even paint that narrative? And
That's how. And there was I saw it kind of like off of Jalen and Jacoby were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about like because they talked about the Paul George, and then they asked, was Scottie Pippen like the most disrespected superstar? I feel like he wants to love, but doesn't get it because he's always attached to Michael.
Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? There were some other questions. Yeah, there were some other questions that they they asked besides the Tony Kukoc thing. I don't remember, but he was all types about her. It was like talking about Phil and he talked about Michael a little bit. It was kind of crazy.
And you got to think too, he's been ranked, top 50 player at one point or whatever, and he's considered the Robin in every scenario. I mean, he's the Scotty to Jordan is like a phrase.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the B player.
I don't think Pippen could have done any of that stuff without Jordan.
Well,
I don't even think
but
Pippen would have won one championship without Jordan.
Okay, but how many would have Jordan won without Scotty?
I don't know.
That's
That's the thing is I don't know.
It's like it's just a perfect match. But you got to look too, like that season after Mike left, they were like 50. It was like 54 and like and something. They were like a 2 or 3 seed that next year in that playoffs.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
But look, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, there's always going to be players that you play with. I mean, it's no different than when like LeBron and Kyrie were playing together. It's like even Kyrie had that. Like
Kyrie didn't want to be in the shadow.
Yeah, I'm really good at this. Like, I don't have to be the B player. I can be the A player. But now he's moved around and
done Jack.
Now he's with 3 of the best A players in the NBA.
Right.
2 others, I should say.
Yeah, I think ever since the Last Dance documentary, Scottie Pippen's really kind of came out as
the bad guy, basically.
Upset him. I think that whole thing just may have drove him off the deep end a little bit.
Well, and Kevin Durant needs to relax, dude.
Yeah, that was a little bit too much from him. Like I think,
don't be so butthurt. It's like, he is. Yeah, he is. But like, you
he's
also have to
super troll.
And Scotty's a analyst, so he's going to say stuff every once in a while. He has to criticize something you've done. Like, you can't always be praised. I mean, it's just I don't recall him saying anything disrespectful. Do you?
I'm trying to remember the KD stuff.
I think it was analytical, but I don't think it was really disrespectful. It wasn't like it wasn't entire.
I think he said until he gets better on defense, he won't be considered a grade or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. It's just
I don't know. Does anybody see Kevin Durant ever winning any defensive awards or doing anything great on defense?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, he can guard 1 through 5 on the court. I mean,
yeah, that is true.
I don't think that's his main job, though.
Yeah,
I think KD's just a professional scorer. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he still scores. He still gets he still plays defense. Still gets rebounds, and all that. So, Giannis might be back. It might not have been as bad as it looked.
They give him the shot. Give him the shot.
Hey, Atlanta. Yeah, exactly. Atlanta has them down. It's 71-54 in the third quarter. Without
it's been one of them. Yeah, if they can sneak past with this, and Giannis is like hurt after the fact, after the adrenaline wears off, then the series might be different.
Yeah, Middleton's not scoring 40 points every game.
But man, with these playoffs, what I've learned is, man, there's no lead is safe, dude. Like NBA is the funniest. Like, you would think that a team's gonna win down 19, and then it's just a slap in your face.
No defense.
Yeah. It is crazy how much that I've noticed that during these playoffs. Like, no lead is safe, dude.
I always thought that. No, there's not. They don't play defense. With all these replays and like these, just common fouls that they're reviewing for.
Last night was terrible.
It's like, how can you expect a guy to go all out on defense if he swipes at the ball and just grazes a guy's ear? He's getting a technical one or a flagrant one, and it's like, come on, that was a basketball move. He hit the freaking ball, or whatever the case might be, and it just.
You can tell what the intent was.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so did you see the one with Jay Crowder?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Did you think that should have been a flagrant?
No.
I don't either, but I also could see
The
you
intent,
do it
yeah.
on purpose. I could see it be done on
Yeah.
purpose, but
Yeah.
I usually always go to the side of like, oh my God, guys, especially like you're going around a guy and you throw up an elbow, just trying to make a move and you catch someone in the face and next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
getting a tech for it. It's like, no, dude, like I was making a move to the basket. Like, come on, it's so silly. Like they have made it so safe that it's just like, we want to see some action. We
Well,
want to see some,
They're trying to referee intent. Like
exactly.
they're trying to grade what, Draymond Green did when he was trying to, reach for the ball or whatever player, and
Right, and he hits him accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, aren't they putting new rules in effect, Jared, for on the offense? Like when the guy is trying to get a foul drawn and stuff like that, don't those go into effect?
Yeah, they're looking at adding like I forget what the terminology was, but just abnormal movement when it came to ball. So like if you were going forward and then all of a sudden were to start going backwards, just to run into the other guy or, leak to the side. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that there's going to be something else for them to review.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, it's going to get insane, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind the whose finger did it hit last. I get it. I want that to be right, but like, dude, we got to do it in 30 seconds. It can't be 3 minutes, especially at 11:30 at night with a minute to go. It's like, come on, let's just get through it. But anyways.
Yeah, they got to take
they don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Well, they should listen to the fans. Like,
but who's talking? I mean, who are they going to listen to? People on the message boards, I mean, it's
right.
It's not like they have a survey they put out and say, how would you like to view? How would you like to view the NBA?
I think Blake's right. I think that we need to speed up the game.
Yeah. Yeah. They just read my tweet and they're like, there's a guy in Indiana named Blake.
Hire him.
He had a fantastic idea.
I mean, they could, take a poll of the players. I mean,
they could what?
They could take a poll of the players.
Well, what do you think the players are going to want, though?
Like, and it kills the momentum.
Yeah, it does. Oh, my God. Yeah, it does.
Don't all these rule changes have to go through the Players Association?
Well, it has to go through the board of directors, and then the Players Association has to sign off on them.
Who Chris Paul is the lead of the Players Association.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So. It's the same thing with the, like all these players complaining about the season starting. Like, if they didn't want the season to start, LeBron James and Chris Paul had the power to say, no, we're not starting until January. Right. But they knew that if they didn't start till January, there would be some reduction in their contracts. Because they're going to play less games, and they didn't want to take that. So,
yeah.
Isn't that funny?
You can't expect the NBA to take all the hit either. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Like they already took the giant hit last year, with the bubble stuff and everything else going on. So it's like, you can't. Yeah.
And we also don't have a clue what goes on behind the scenes to make the NBA even run. So
and I mean, those owners, they missed out on all that revenue, all the playoff revenue of their stadiums, because they keep all that. The owners keep all that money when they get those tickets, and they lost all of that. So all they had was TV money. So
I feel sorry for these billionaires. I can't believe didn't make.
I can't believe that Steve Ballmer lost some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if it's not profitable, they'll just drop it. So,
yeah, it's that easy.
But you also got to see it at the point of the players too. Hey, I'm going to sign this, and we're going to start early because,
I want to play.
Basically, well, Caldwell Pope is not making the same money that LeBron is, so he needs more checks than LeBron does. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
These bench players that are signing on vet minimums, they need those checks. So I'm going to sign this so we have these games so my teammates can get paid.
And listen, in all reality, when these superstars do sit out, the bench players are giving it their all. You know, and it's actually pretty good basketball, you know, and you can start seeing the other talent. But the NBA doesn't want that, man. You got, especially these big games on TNT, and you got your
You
Man,
gotta have the
superstar
stars
sitting
out there.
out. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Like, you're doing
Absolutely.
like at that point, you're literally doing you're not doing anything good for the company you work for. Like, you're not
Right.
helping them become popular and even your brand become popular. I mean, you know, that's like a fighter not wanting to be in the main event.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, just put me on the prelims. I don't want,
Right.
you know.
Just already think of it right now. We got 4 teams left. Trey is out tonight. Leonard's not on the Clippers. Giannis just got hurt. Like,
Yeah.
the NBA is so scared right now. know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
there's
seriously.
no, like, you have to have that star power. Just think if Giannis and Trey are both out next game. Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna really watch that game? Watch Middleton play?
I probably will.
There
Like
you
Middleton and Williams go at it.
And they've got Chris Paul post COVID. You know, he's struggling just to get back after
Get some
COVID.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that would be wild if LA comes back and wins this series, especially after going down 2-0. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, they should. I mean,
nobody.
the one game they should have won. That
Yeah.
game 2 they should have won. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's But you know, I still don't know how great the Suns are, and I don't really know
I
how
don't
great
either,
the
yeah.
Hawks are. You know, I don't know how great any of these teams are, to be honest with you. I feel like they're all.
Right.
It's a perfect, really. You know, it's really.
I
a
think
perfect
Phoenix
finals
is the
right now.
best team, like collaborative, like they work the best. You know, I think Paul like really drives them and keeps them together, and like they've got a lot of tools, and I think they play the best together as far as a team goes.
I will say, Jared, I don't think that they use Aiden enough, because when
No.
he's in there, oh my God, they cannot
Yeah,
stop
he's a
him.
beast.
They don't have
Unstoppable.
anybody that can guard him, and I think that they don't exploit that enough. That pick and roll, that's what they need to exploit more.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yep. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Jared, is your family coming to the fireworks show? No pressure.
I'm gonna try to. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Damn
All right.
it. How's puppy life? You got the new
Oh
puppy?
yeah, Jared got a new puppy.
I got a new puppy.
Got
So
both his eyes.
no, he is like complete polar opposites of the previous puppy we got, and he is 8-9 weeks old. I guess he had a kind of a. We didn't really get much of a background, but he had a rough upbringing, you know. And he's super timid. He was the runt of the litter, and he's super timid and so he's chill. Like I can take him out, no leash, no collar, and he just kind of like stays right next to you,
Right.
runs
That's
a
what's
little
up.
bit, and
It's gonna be
you
a
know,
real dog.
yeah. So can't really tell how big he's going to get, but no, he's kind of integrated himself into the family. We took him to the ball fields over the weekend, and you know, he's
Let him run around.
part of the family now. So
Well, cool.
Good.
What's his name?
Paxton,
Paxton.
we did not name him. He came named, so we kept
Okay.
be like,
Well, you
Thanks,
can.
Pat.
I mean, you can change its name if you want. Like,
yeah, no, but we like.
it's like what's he gonna do? Back talk you? I mean,
It's gonna-
it has, you are the owner. You're allowed to change it.
This is true. Well, we do call the kids and my wife do call him by the previous dog's name quite often.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it. I still
Boston.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call Hoosier Gabby all the time.
Oh, do you?
So, oh yeah. All right, boys. It's a wrap.
Blowing up stuff this weekend.
Can't wait.
Everybody's gonna go celebrate freedom.
America.
Happy 4th of July to you guys.